How on earth do you keep all your electronic devices charged on a multi-day backcountry bikepacking trip? Bikepacking used to be so simple. Grab a map, hop on your bike, and you're good to go. But nowadays, everything's battery powered. I'm not complaining, don't get me wrong. I have no desire to go back to paper maps. But still, it is complicated trying to keep everything powered. You have your cycling computer, your GPS tracker, your helmet light, your handlebar light, your tail light, your phone, action cameras, other cameras. Heck, even my pump is battery powered these days. Keeping it all charged can be quite a challenge. But really, when it comes to powering your devices, you have three choices. A dynamo, which is pretty expensive, requires replacing your front wheel, and really doesn't work if you're riding single track or other slow things. You have solar, which really doesn't generate enough power to keep everything charged at all, except maybe in the most optimal conditions. And then you have a power bank. And a power bank, you need to find somewhere to put it. And that's where this video comes in. I'm going to review 3 innovative power banks that take up no space on your bike. How's that possible? Well, let's find out. First up, we have the most space-saving option on the list. This is the NRG Power Stem. The battery is inside the stem, so it takes up literally no space at all. The stem is 103 millimeters long, weighs roughly 240 grams, and features a 3500 milliamp hour battery inside. Under this little cover on the bottom, there's a USB-A port for charging all your devices, and then a mini USB port to charge the stem itself. That's right, it's a mini USB port, not a micro USB port. So it's fairly old school technology, still works great though. The cable uses this shroud, hood, not quite sure what to call it, but it's a USB-A cable that plugs into the stem, and then the other end plugs into your device. It includes a USB-C, micro USB, mini USB, and lightning cable. This shroud, when plugged in tightly, makes for a good watertight seal. Takes a little bit of finagling to get that plugged in right. It's not that hard, but it does take a little bit of work to make sure it's well seated. And once in, it's in. There's also a little clip on the front of the stem faceplate that you can use to attach the cable into to hold it tight and out of the way. This clip is completely optional and can be removed. But once hooked up, you can take the cable and plug it into your bike computer, your phone, whatever it is you want to charge. And now you need to turn on the stem. Plugging it in alone isn't enough. So let's turn that on. Starts out red, just to indicate it's turning on, and then I'll show you the battery level here. A neat little feature is as I press this, the brightness of that indicator light changes. So you can turn that down. So when you're riding at night, you can get a much dimmer light and not be blinded by it. The stem is only available from their website at 129 British pounds, or roughly 168 US dollars. I'll provide a link in the description below. If you remove the faceplate, you can see what's inside. The battery is encased in a little plastic shell with all the electronics inside. So the stem has no smarts to it at all. It's all encased in this handy little piece. Are you finding this video helpful, informative, or entertaining? Then click like and subscribe. It really does help out the channel. Do you hate this video? Then click like anyways and then roast me in the comments. Next up, we have a no-name find from Amazon. This is a USB rechargeable handlebar extender. Ultimately, it's an accessory bar. You mount this to your handlebars and it sticks out front. It gives you places to mount things like lights or your bike computer, things like that. But the killer feature is it's powered. So if you take off the end cap, there's a battery inside. It takes 2 18650 cells. It'll work with just 1 or 2, but you put the battery in, screw the end cap on, and now it's powered. Underneath, there's a little USB port with a flap to keep it watertight. Plug in a cable of your choice and plug that into the device you want to charge. These 18650 cells are 3500 milliamps each. Now, I'm no mathematician, but that seems to come out at 7000 milliamps total when combined in this device. The neat thing about this taking 18650 cells is while it fits 2, you can throw even more of these into your pack. They're nice and small, and that gives you even more battery power potential. So as you'd expect from a no-name Amazon find, this thing was pretty cheap and was just $22 on Amazon. The electronics in it are super simple, and fortunately, they're simple. So that means there's not a lot to go wrong. I've used this on plenty of long trips in a variety of weather, and it served me well. So if you're interested in checking this out, there's a link in the description below. Last but not least, we have a poorly named product. This is the Rock Bros Cycling Running Light. Why is it poorly named? Because the killer feature is the power bank. This is essentially a power bank with a male and female quarter turn mount attached. They're screw on so you can rotate them 90 degrees to work with Garmin or Wahoo, and it works just fine in either case. There is a light on it, so that's where the name comes from, but the light's pretty useless. When you attach this to your bike, it's generally pointed upwards, so it's not going to shine on the road, so you can't see anything. Not really going to point at vehicles either. Because for me, this is a power bank first, I'm not going to use the light unless it's a real emergency. And luckily, that's pretty much all the light's good for anyway. If you're not familiar with Rock Bros, they're a company out of China that tends to stick their logo on a wide variety of cycling products. And in general, they don't make these products. So this particular device, I actually didn't intend to buy the Rock Bros version. I was looking at a completely different version on Amazon, walked away, came back later, and decided to make a purchase, and somehow ended up putting the Rock Bros version in my cart. So there are other identical versions of this, just other companies, all roughly $28 on Amazon. So if you're looking for the Rock Bros version, I'll provide a link in the description below. To use it, you attach your GPS to the quarter turn mount on top of the device, then you attach the whole thing to the mount on your handlebars. There's a USB-C and lightning cable built in, so you pull that out and you can then plug this into whatever device you want. In this case, my cycling computer. Plug that in, it then lights up red to indicate it's automatically powered on, and my GPS starts charging. This is a super small and convenient form factor and tends to disappear when mounted below my cycling computer. It offers up 5,000 milliamp hours of power, so it comes in nicely between the stem and the accessory bar on the power range. One neat feature with this is it works well with my radar taillight. I attach that, keep it plugged in. Now I can extend the life from roughly 9 hours to multiple days. I just don't recommend running through airport security with it hooked up like this, because it looks a little suspect. So there you have it. 3 amazing products to keep your devices charged on the most remote backcountry adventures. What tips and tricks do you have to keep your devices charged? Let me know in the comments below.